All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Melissa, and this is Healing Space Podcast. I wanted to make this episode, more of an intro episode, kind of let you get to know me a little bit better, kind of see what this whole platform is going to look like. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a few years now. I live and breathe mental health, it feels like, both personally and professionally. Last year, I graduated with my master's degree in mental health counseling. I work for the county where I live currently, and I'm a caseworker right now while I'm working with the state board to get my licensure to actually be a full-time therapist. The meaning behind this podcast, I just wanted to create a safe space for people to come and just be raw and real, vulnerable, show their struggles, their strengths. I haven't really seen many podcasts or really any outlets that kind of focus on those things. So I really wanted to make point to find or create some place that people can come and just let us know how life is for them. I know a lot of people in day-to-day life, you walk around stores, you're going to work, and you never really know what that person or what these people are going through. And so this place or this podcast creates a safe space for people to come sit down and let us get to know them and kind of see that we're not alone in our mental health journey. And mental health, unfortunately, is a thing. It is something that everyone struggles in some sort of capacity. But I wanted to create a place where people can come and just be vulnerable and share their struggles and share their successes, because that's so important. It's so important for people to be able to explore and explain and share their successes in life. Topics will range anywhere from, like today, an intro to depression, anxiety, mindfulness, different grounding techniques. And this is something that I want more feedback on. Like, what is it that you guys would love to see? Because I'd love to be able to help spread awareness so we can break down that stigma of mental health. I'm also going to be bringing in people that I think could benefit from sharing their story, and people that I think you guys would benefit from hearing their story as well. A little backstory. My husband's a drummer, so he is on tour all the time. And we'll do a whole separate episode on that. But ever since, hearing his stories on when he's on tour and what he goes through, I was like, you know what? I think people would love to hear what musicians go through while they're away. He's on the road, laundry every 3-4 days, showers every 2 to 3 days if possible. He shared some of that with me in the past, which, like I said, again, we'll do that on another episode. But I think musicians, you hear their lyrics, you feel their lyrics, you sing along, you get what you get from those songs. But what got them to those songs is kind of what I want to dig deep into, as well as other professionals as well. The music industry, I have more experience with through my husband, but we'll talk to business owners, we'll talk to other people in mental health professions like therapists, caseworkers, a few artists I'll have come in and share some stuff, personal fitness trainers, just all different kinds of different people that I'm going to bring onto this podcast so we can kind of explore what they go through on their day-to-day life and see how mental health has impacted them in some sort of capacity. So for this podcast, I would say my mission for this podcast would be ultimately to break the stigma of mental health. So growing up, I know for me personally, it was never talked about in my family at all until I personally experienced it. But I'm so happy that in today's age, mental health is more of a topic for discussion, because growing up with my own mental health issues, because I struggled severely with mental health, having it be such a topic of discussion is so refreshing, because it's letting other people get to really learn about how it affects us on our day-to-day life. So breaking down that stigma is something I'm really I feel powerful about. And I think we could just keep continuing to break down the stigma day to day, bit by bit, but ultimately breaking down the stigma is something that I'm very, very wanting to pursue and continue educating people on. I also want to provide hope. Hope is a word that kind of goes along with some vulnerability. With what I do every day, I work with parents, and I just see the hope that their child is going to get better, that life is going to get better, that this isn't an everyday thing anymore, that there is hope that we can get the treatment, the help, the tools, the resources to get better. But I also want to provide hope for just people who maybe don't go to therapy, they don't have their own sort of coping skills that they are really strong with, but provide them the hope to know that it's okay to ask for help, and to hope that they can and will make it to the next day. So I want people to know that their hopes are something that are being listened to, and are something that they're able to make into a realization. And I just really want to have honest conversation. Like I mentioned before, mental health is just hasn't been a topic that really was someone dove into and really dug up information and talked about. Is kind of hush hush. We don't really talk about that. So I just want to have open, honest conversations with individuals, just to kind of get a better, create that safe space for people to just be raw and vulnerable. I do want to let everyone know this is a a judgment-free zone. There's no judgment. People are going to be raw, vulnerable, happy tears, sad tears, no judgment. And I ask that everyone else is just kind and no judgment, please. The goal, I would say, along with my missions of what this podcast is for, is I really just want to help people feel seen. I know with my mental health struggles, I felt invisible to the world. I felt like no one knew I even existed. No one knew I mattered. So just creating a space where people can feel like they're being seen and acknowledged and respected and loved is something that I really I hold dear to my heart, for sure. I also want to this podcast is just to let people know you're not alone. Being alone is so isolating, so it can be scary, it can be sad. It all depends on really your mindset, but I want this podcast to be a safe space where people can feel like they can come here and comment or send this information out to other people who might need it, just so that they know they're not alone in this journey. This journey is it's hard. Life is hard. Mental health itself doesn't make it any easier. If anything, it makes it kind of worse and harder. So I just think it's really important that people don't feel alone within their journey of life. I also want to help people kind of come up with new coping skills. Coping skills are something that just when you're in a mental health crappy mindset that there are tools that can help regulate and calm down and ground you back and help when you're so heightened in emotions. And it could look different for everyone. Some people use fidget spinners. Some people use certain textures. I know I've had people I worked with in the community, they use like essential oils. So they'll have an essential oil sack, like a little rice sack that they carry around. And whenever they feel anxious or overwhelmed, they'll just inhale the essential oil to regulate and kind of bring down those heightened emotions. I also want to promote growth. Growth in mental health is huge. Learning new things about mental health every day is something I love to do. With my job, I'm learning every single day something new about mental health. And it helps me grow as an individual. It helps me grow in my profession. Growth is so important. And I think the more knowledge, the more you can grow. I also want to be able to empower you guys to stand up for yourself, to make yourself known, to have healthy coping skills, to have healthy relationships, to have that healthy relationship with yourself and be able to use the different coping skills and be able to get that job that you were stressing over, to wake up every day and be like, you know what, I woke up today. That's a huge moment in my life. And it's as simple as that. Something so simple as waking up every day can be a task. But you know what? You did it. And I'm proud of you, because there were days when I did not want to wake up. I didn't. And every day I woke up and I was like, great, another day in this life. But you know what? I turned my trauma and my depression and anxiety and all my life experiences at the young age of 32, I used that, and look where I am now. I'm happy to wake up every day. Sometimes not so early. Not a huge fan of waking up early. But I love what I get to do. I get to experience life with my husband. I've got 5 animals, which is a little crazy. We just bought a house last year. I mean, I've accomplished so much, and my motto has always just been to keep going, because you know what? One day your voice will be someone and something that helps someone get through their hump that they're in. My story, which I think if you guys really wanted to know, we can do a whole episode on that. We could do a whole episode on that another day. I just wanted to kind of introduce this podcast, get the knowledge out that I'm here, willing to help create a safe space for everyone, and empower you guys. That's so huge. I just want to empower everyone. I work with families almost every day, and I'm like, you know what? I need to empower them, because empowering them will help them be a better person. And with them being a better person, they can be a better parent. And when the kid has a good, strong, solid parent, they're going to be successful. There won't be issues, or as many issues. But yeah, those are my goals for this podcast. I'm sure they'll be ever changing, so don't be surprised if there's something I didn't list. I do want to say what is coming next is an episode on my husband, Josh. We're going to talk about touring, recording music, his mental health, because he doesn't like to share that. He's not very good at being vulnerable, but we've been working on that. And just learning more about what it's like every day, doing music, recording for 4 hours, coming home, having to learn more music, and then touring and being on a bus for a month with 10 guys. And there's so much to dive into with that man. He hasn't had the greatest childhood. he started off with a rocky start, but he's one heck of a guy. And I'm excited to share his story and experiences with you guys. I do also, before we go, I do want to share a disclaimer. This isn't, how do I say this? I don't want you to think that I am educating you in the sense that what I say is the only way for things to be taken in. I don't want you to think that I'm spitting out this knowledge and this is the only information and the only way it can be. And safety first. If you're feeling suicidal, if you're feeling homicidal, if you're feeling anything, anxious, depression, like, if you're having any negative thoughts, please reach out to 988, the National Suicide Hotline Prevention. I've worked with them closely with my job. They're fantastic. But please, if you're having any negative thoughts, hurting yourself, know anyone who is, please reach out to professionals to get them that help. Yeah. So I wanted to end this episode with that. Please, there'll be a new episode out next week, the second episode with Josh. I do want to encourage you guys to share this podcast with anyone that you think might need this or it could help. Could be anyone, could be a friend, cousin, long lost relative that you haven't talked to in years. If there's someone that you think would benefit from this podcast, please share share this information. I am on Instagram, The Healing Space Podcast. I'm also on Facebook, The Healing Space Podcast, as well as YouTube. I believe we're doing Spotify and Apple Music as well. And thank you. I'm excited, a little nervous about this journey, but I think it's going to be a good one. And I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you, guys.